Hello, my name is Carly Wine. I am a Ball State graduate student, and today I will be discussing further the case study about Jacob. So, to recap on Jacob, Jacob is a 12-year-old male. He was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, multiple delays, intermittent explosive disorder, and ADHD. He currently attends a private school for children with autism. He is a 1-to-1 ratio and a 2-to-4 ratio classroom setting. So what that means is Jacob has one staff member directly to him, and then there is another staff member with the other 3 students in this classroom. So to recap on Jacob's behaviors and interventions, the behaviors of interest that we are currently tracking for Jacob is aggression and elopement. The functions of these behaviors have been found to be attention seeking and escape. So the interventions we are currently using is functional communication training in the form of MyWay to escape work tasks appropriately. And he is currently waiting and working for 1.5 hours for a preferred staff member with the criteria of following directions, having calm hands and feet, having kind words, and doing his work. So there is another intervention currently being discussed for Jacob. So I have suggested an alternative intervention to increase appropriate behaviors while providing alternative behaviors for each of the functions that we have identified with Jacob. So the currently discussion of intervention to try next is when Jacob is engaging in triggering behaviors, including vocal obsessive behaviors. So what Jacob will do is he will start asking for staff items or for items that he's not allowed to have. So this will look like, I want walkie. I want a walkie clip. I want a walkie clip. I want a walkie clip. I want to go to the gym. I want a walkie clip. I want Miss Ashley. And it'll be continuous. So when he engages in those behaviors, the one-on-one staff will ask Jacob if he wants to take a break in the small office. So the small office is a small office that is directly across the hall from the classroom Jacob is currently in. If he says yes, he will get the preferred person he is working for will be radioed or will be messaged to help the person who is currently with him to transition across the hallway to that current, out of the current classroom into that small office area. That preferred person will provide him high verbal reinforcement like good job asking for a break, good job walking across to the break room, thanks for using your words, and then within like a minute will be like, okay, are you how much longer are you working for me for? Say he has 45 minutes left, he'll say 45 minutes, and then they'll be like, okay, bye, I'll see you in 45 minutes if you get me. Jacob will then be provided X amount of time, this has yet to be discussed, for how long he can be on break, probably like 5 to 7 minutes, before he's giving the demand to go back to the classroom to continue to work for the preferred person. In this instance, since Jacob is using functional communication training of MyWay, that will be off the tables for this break time and out of the classroom time. Maybe. So the tactics for training staff on these interventions. Currently, he's using the functional skills training of MyWay, so staff will be trained via BST or behavior skills training to include instructions, modeling, rehearsal, and feedback. They'll get the opportunity to see what the intervention looks like, how to do it with other staff members before utilizing it with Jacob. The 1.5 hours waiting intervention that will also be the behavior skills training, in which the one-on-one with Jacob now, this grad student or the behavior specialist will train them on like what the criteria looks like, how it would look if he earned the preferred person, or how it would look like if he didn't earn the preferred person. How long would you wait? Would you wait until the timer is up, and so forth. And then for the intervention and discussion, if this is determined, staff will model the triggering interventions, what those look like, how to help Jacob identify those triggering behaviors and recognizing that he needs a break. And for this instance, Jacob learns very quickly. So he does have a manipulation in his behavior repertoire. So he could ultimately use this as, I need a break, as he's perfectly fine just to get out of the classroom to not do work. So we would also focus on how to redirect that and what he would do in the break, during his break time, and how to redirect him back to class when it is time to go back to class. So performance monitoring and feedback. Jacob is considered, quote unquote, one of the harder students in the school due to the intensity and the duration of his behaviors. So Jacob, if he elopes into the hallway and he sees a preferred staff member, or he sees a staff member he likes that he wants to talk to working with another student, he will engage in aggressive behaviors toward his one-on-one. And he will either like try to hit, kick, spit. He would do all of these to try to get the attention from the other staff member, as well as he'll scream. And his screamings can last anywhere from like 10 minutes to 2 hours. So the duration of his behaviors can be long, and they can be very intense. So to effectively deliver, for effective delivery techniques, performance will be monitored during the times of calm and during the times of behaviors. So because Jacob engages in high attention seeking behaviors primarily from the adults, those observing staff will have to be non-preferred staff members, which are generally males. And most of the males in the school already have vast knowledge of Jacob, the interventions he's using, and they will be able to relay that to either this grad student or the behavior specialist. Excuse me. So during calm times, what will be monitored are the interventions being completed correctly, accurately, and appropriately. Data IOA, or inter-observer agreement, will be conducted just to ensure that what is being marked as accurate, like he's doing my way appropriately, he isn't doing my way appropriately, to make sure that those interventions are being completed correctly. During the behaviors, what will be monitored is the plan ignoring, the physical intervention. Currently we use Eukaru for Jacob, which is just using Eukaru mats to block his aggression, and planned ignoring. Monitoring behavior data would also include, like, if they're monitoring the duration that he is engaging in these behaviors, and if ABC data is being taken to allow us to know what is actually occurring during these times. So for navigating variables affecting personal performance, so the performance diagnostic checklist, or PDC, can be used to help determine like underlying variables. So the performance diagnostic checklist has 4 main areas, including the antecedent and then information. So does the staff member know what they're getting into? Do they know the kind of setting of kids they're getting into? Do they know the interventions that are being used? The equipment and processes, the knowledge and skills, and the consequences and modifications. A second type is an assessment survey. So I feel like this would be more personal for the actual staff members, so they can tell us what they feel they need to improve on, determine what interventions they need to improve on, for us to help them with identifying interventions or ABA techniques that they need to improve on, and for open communication. So the function-based strategies to improve staff performances would be using reinforcement, either verbally praising staff or tangibly with like a $5 Starbucks gift card. Goal setting, let them make goals for themselves that they have time to improve on. Effective means for open communication, progressive exposure prior to working fully with a specified student. So letting them see Jacob in a behavior before they're actually being put with Jacob. And just written instruction of what to do if A, B, C, D, E happens. The key takeaways is not all students engage in similar behaviors. So Jacob is what can be said, quote unquote, a hard student, but finding the right intervention is key for him. And right now he's gone through so many interventions. We are just trying to find anything that fits with him. So we need to keep in mind that everyone learns differently, including clients and staff. We need to provide expectations, model the expectations, and obtain feedback on how to improve. Allow help when needed. For this particular student, he is harder because of the intensity of his behaviors. So acknowledging the signs that you're getting burnout is very key. And also don't take anything personally. My name is Carly Wine, and I want to thank you for watching my presentation.